To quote the hunters and collectors, do you see what I see? Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay folks, this is the Coffee Bush Kid in Central Vic. And can you see what's happened to my beloved 6-inch coil? Something else in its place. I've got something else on the end of my shaft there. I've got a signal. I'm just trying to get used to where everything is. And I've already got a 1 cent piece doing this, but you can sort of it changes to that. So it's somewhere in around there. When the targets are shallow and that, gee, you can really get right onto them. So it just ends up being right there. And with all things bloody happening today, and I went out and got firewood, I took the stealth spade out of the back of the ute. Not one of my brightest moments. So now I'm digging with the... Now there's something, shush, seems to be something green. Oh, there we go. That is a little pulley out of something. There we go. Oh, sorry, there we go. That's even better. Little pulley. Used for pulling stuff. That's a more decorative side that would have been facing outwards, I reckon, whereas that one's plain. Anyway, we found it. Don't know if we'll find anything else tonight. We're now giving this a really good test. There we go. To see, shush, what's how it's going to perform. I think it'll be fairly good. Anyway, we'll see what happens. All right. Well, I'm out with the new 10x5 elliptical coil on the end of my Equinox 800 there, and I'm out in an area that I've been out before. I've found my first farthings up there and one over the bloody back of the hill there, and you can see just these little mounds. They're chimney mounds, and I'm right by this one, and down in there 4 inches deep I got that. That is a Vicky threepence. What date do I hear you say? There you go. If we can get in there. It's 1856. Now, everyone on the count of 3, take a really deep sniff in. Not a breath, a sniff. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The smell of wild silver. Magnificent. So yes, that's the first silver to the new coil. Very happy with that. Right, now I've got this beautiful sweet signal. And I was just nosing in using the tip. I'm having trouble, I'm hooked on a branch. Right, here we go. Really starting to go off. Well, actually, all I did was I kicked the branches or the leaf litter away. And even I'm trying to see where it is. There we go. Now I've got it. Now everyone should have it. I hope it's not a bloody 2-cent piece. Oh, bugger me. It is. What's a 2-cent piece doing out here? Anyway, we found it. And that can go to the smiley coin pile. Okay, I'm still doing tests on the old 10x5 elliptical. I'm out at my mate's place where I got the sovereign case and everything just up there, and we'll head up there soon. But I got a 24-26 signal, 6 inches down, and I brought that out. So that's a lock plate. See where the key would have gone in. Nice big piece of brass, bronze, something of the like. Yeah, that's an interesting find. So let's see what else we can get around here. Sniffing around with a 10x5. Well, I'm just getting used to the pinpointing abilities. It'll pinpoint at the toe of it, but it'll also pinpoint in the middle if it's a bit deeper. And down in there was a beautiful 21-22. And that's what it is. One of our old friends, the bloody clock cog. They're always a bloody cool find. Down here, I got a nice 27-28 signal type thing. Now, I have the sun against me, but doesn't that piece of ground just look a little bit round? Doesn't it look round? Beautiful. So, looks very worn too. I'll hit it with some water and we'll come back and see what it is. We are back. I was going to tell, all I was going to be able to tell you was that it was round and it was silver and it was in the ground and it's about 3/4 size. But I believe I can see 1898 on that side. And when we flip it over, Vicky's got a crown on and the veil. So someone with just a touch more knowledge than me will tell you whether it's a coronation or a veil, probably a veil head. But anyway, 1898 3/4. So that's its second silver in 2 days. That's not bad. Right, I have dropped my sensitivity back to 23 because I was just getting too many chirpy signals. I put a little bit of discrimination back on again. And I've got this. This was a thumping 25, just solid, dig me. And look at that, that's a tin off a lid off a tin with some beautiful buddy work on it. How cool is that? Don't think it's silver. It is pretty heavy. It's probably just a, if it had been silver, it's probably only a brass thing that's been covered, but that's a very nice lid. Let's see what else we can find. All right, let's do a livey on this one. Now I've lost the numbers. Here we are. We're going to say straight out it's a token. Nice if it was. I have faith too in where I think the centre of it was. It's quite a few bars down. Shift that cow pad out the way. Alright. Just actually in there. Right. Don't you love it how when you take something out, oh! To quote the hunters and collectors, do you see what I see? Oh yeah. Oh. And that has a hole in it. We see the hole? Yep, there we go. So let's clean that up. I can see Vicky's head on it or someone like that. So we'll see what we've got. Now, this is an interesting one. So it's Victoria's Jubilee. When we go over this side, it's the Shire of Ripon. T.R. Oddie, President. So this is all unusual. I have not got one like that. And it also means I'll have to do some searching on the internet-y thing. This is cool. Anyway, I'm heading back to the ute, so we'll see what else we might be able to snaffle. I'm still trying to get back to the ute, and some people would say just turn your detector off, and they would be people that aren't detectorists. So, you know, coins all over there, bits and pieces around, and I got a thumping signal. I've got to dig this. That is a mortising chisel. Now, someone's used it without the timber handle in it, so of course it's mushroomed. It's all corroded. Now really, there shouldn't be any pitting in a chisel. But I'm looking at that, and that only looks like surface corrosion. I think there's a great possibility that that could be brought back to life. And that would be just cool as all get out. I'll try that, because of course I haven't got enough projects on at the moment. And then there's detecting. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that one. But that's a bloody cool find. Right, I have progressed further because I was over there. Now I'm over here, where from out of the ground with a 2122 signal, we have a button. It is a military button. Aut pace, aut bellow, or however it is pronounced. So that, in peace, in war, that is a Victorian Volunteers button. Pre-Federation, pre-1901. So, yeah. Cool little find. Still got its shank in the back. Tell me who the maker is too. Oh, it looks like it's even still got cotton in there too. Anyway, cool little find in anyone's language. There we are. Bit better. See what else we can get. This is going to be the final part of testing out the 10 by 5 Coiltek coil on the Knox 800. I'm in an area like this because that's a house. This is one. That's another. There's a couple more over there. There's a lot more up the top. Oh, in the coffee bush. So I've got my sensitivity up to, it's 24, 25 maybe. There's a lot of, naturally enough, the ground's a bit chirpy. You can see over there, there's some tin. There is old bits of bottle, which I can't now find. There's one up there behind that piece of coffee bush. Anyway, got a 15, 16, 17. It was pretty solid. It's a little ways down, and that's what we found. Here we go, got it all out now. Bit of chain. I've got my discrimination wide open. So, but anyway, that's what we found. But I reckon that poking in and around the rocks, because I know that I've got, there's some glass. I've got some silver up along the ridge line there before with my old Xterra. So we'll see how it goes sniffing out the coins and the good relics. But yeah, we got a piece of chain, so that's a start. Now I will show you something that I've got to get my head around when I'm working with this coil. There's a piece of Australian kangaroo poo. There you go, little black one. I got it so that it shine out for you. Now, when you get a small signal and it's close to the surface, you start going over it, and this is where the nose of that's going to come into beautiful play. But all of a sudden, because it's close to the surface, it's going on and on and on, and all of a sudden you've got this big long target that you may well think somewhere in there, but in actual fact it's there. And what I've been finding is that 2 bars down on there, it's where the nose is. You start getting 3 bars down and it's actually only in the middle. Now of course you can come at it sideways and you go, oh, it's reduced, it's only there as you work along that way. So you go, cool, there's an X marks the spot. You can also just hit the pinpointer on the dashboard here and it'll let you know. So, having said that, that signal, see how many bars down we are? That's in the middle there. So we'll flick that piece out. It's somewhere around there. And when we do this, don't you love it when it just gives a short, it's not there, it's there, it's not up there, it's just there. Just very, very small. And at that signal, we're going to dig it and we'll find out what it is. After that little bit of tutorial, now I've lost my bloody spot. Where is it again? There. Right. And away we go. Digging out around from it with the old stealth spade. Hopefully, I'd like to see a coin come out. Oof. Okay. Oh, you bugger. How good's that for pinpointing? That, in fact, we'll get it up on the knee, is part of a little rove, a rivet. Sorry, that would be the head of the rivet. Just a little coppery thing. So that was, what are we going to say, 3, 4 inches down? Definitely 3. Chewing up a beaut. But it would only do it in that small section in the middle. So, it's just something you've got to get your head around. I've got to get my head around when I'm working this. Because of course with the 6-inch coil, I would have only had that much area to work with, and of course it makes it nice and easy to pinpoint. But getting used to it, not a bad coil. In this area, as I said, with all the stones to poke and prod in amongst, it'll be a good thing. Let's see what else we can get. And just down there, and I'm showing you this because my finds are few and far between at the present time. It's just down in there. In amongst the rocks, you know, just mooching around, as I said I would with that. And we got this. It's a little, we'll say it's a little musket ball, but that would have been from a pistol. You almost see right where my finger is, where the sprue joint was when they moulded it. In fact, there it is. That's a better one of it. So yeah, not a sinker. It is an old one. Would have been in a little pistol. A nice pistol that, oh, you could conceal. Now, it is only a little thing. You see my size against my finger. But you still wouldn't want it putting a hole through your heart. So, always an interesting little find. That's a little beauty, that one. You know, we'll keep going. I'm around an old store that I've been around before, and I was sort of half hoping that I'd get a couple of Chinese, or at least one Chinese coin from out in amongst the rocks. Unsuccessful at the moment. But down in that little hole there, and it wasn't very deep, I got that. Now, interesting little piece. I reckon something fire army related, because see that little piece just there? Just right for a finger to run on. There's a thumb pad or finger pad or something, and it's flat on this side, so it would have gone up against something so that that protrudes and you can do something with it. It has a hole for it to pivot on, and if we look close enough, there's a hole, I reckon, for a spring. So the little arm of a spring, so that it returns to wherever it's supposed to return to. Just a little interesting find. Very ornate shape. Must have done something, but I don't know. All hypothesizing. Had a bit of wear too in the hole, just in case you want to know that. Right, this is what I was going to show you as the last thing. You're out detecting, there's a couple of rocks. You're out with your 6-inch, because it's a mighty little beast. But it just won't go in, so you can, you can put it in like that. You just rest it like that. But all the while, you are losing depth. Whereas with the 10x5, not that I've set it up perfectly, but that can go in. If you're worried about the straight line of it all, send it through crookedly so you've got a bigger span of the area. That's where I reckon its strength is really going to lie. That and just nosing around in amongst bloody tree roots, buttresses of trees, everything like that. So I've bought it, I've got it, I've used it. I've used it in different conditions. What do I think? Well, in scrubby bush, there's too much resistance. It's the same as the 11-inch coil. There's just too much surface area hitting bush. Little 6-inch, you haven't got the resistance. You're not fighting it all the time. Open area, yeah, it's good. It's as good as the 11-inch. You're covering a lot more area than the 6-inch is. In trashy ground where I thought it would have really excelled, it was nearly like the 11-inch. You've got that 10-inch worth of area that you have signals, whereas with the 6-inch coil you have 6 inches of area where there is signals. So there's not as many. So with this, you can get down in amongst more trash than with that. But in rocky areas, tree buttressy, rooty areas, I reckon it'd be absolutely brilliant in a park where there's lots of coin. Oh, gee, when you say that, you can almost smell the old silver and copper, where this thing would bloody nudge in amongst roots and everywhere and just go, yep, right, there's where it is, away we go. So, happy to have it in my bag of tricks. I'm not going to say I'm disappointed with it. I'm happy to have it, but there was just a little bit of a learning curve as to, our pinpointing areas and so forth. But by gee, if you've got a shallow target, by gee, it sniffs it out pretty quickly. That way it's really, really good. So, you know, all in all, I'm not saying to get it, not saying not to get it. You've got to get stuff to suit your environment. If you think it's gonna increase your haul, get the thing. If you don't, then don't. It's as simple as that. Anyway, keep in mind, it's always good to fill in some of your day detecting, but remember to fill in all your holes when you're finished. We'll catch you next time.